Madder, activated charcoal, glacial marine clay and red Moroccan clay. Today we are going to make a naturally coloured soap that is as pretty as a picture, and we are even going to frame it. Welcome to our channel. My name is Anne, and along with my good friend Wayne, we run the Sussex Handmade Soap Company, which is a small bath and body business based in the southeast of the UK, and we also run this YouTube channel. And today we are going to be creating a loaf of soap that is coloured with 4 different natural colourants, as I said in the intro: activated charcoal, glacial marine clay, which gives a nice green colour, Moroccan red clay, which gives kind of a rusty orangey colour, and madder powder, which will hopefully give a nice kind of bright pinky colour. We are going to be scenting our soap today with lemon tea tree essential oil. And as I said, we are going to frame it. What do I mean by that? Well, I got this idea from Tree Marie Soapworks. I believe other people have tried this technique as well, but this is the video I watched when I was actually experimenting. And the idea is that our finished soap bar is almost going to look as if it is in a picture frame. And I'm going to tell you how we achieve that. I have actually already done some preparation because I don't want the video to be too long. So I've done the basics of our picture frame. And this here is 1/4 of our picture frame. This is a very thin slice of soap that I created last night, and I coloured it with our activated charcoal. I'm going to put all the measurements and the recipe details down in the description for this video, so if you want to see the amounts that we use, do look down there. This, as I said, is 1/4 of our picture frame. So what I first did was I made our regular soap batter, I coloured it with activated charcoal, and I split it off into 260 gram portions, and I have 5 of these moulds. I used 4 of them, and I poured 260 grams of the activated charcoal coloured soap batter into the base of 4 moulds. And then this morning I turned those out, and this is one of the ones I turned out. This is going to form the top of our picture frame. Now I'm going to bring in another mould where I've already done a little bit of preparation work. And this is the mould that I've already done some work on. So after I had created these, I turned out 3 of them. The 4th one I left in the base, and this is the 4th one. So down in the base of this 4th mould is the activated charcoal soap that I poured last night. And as you can see, I've now also got some sides up the mould, and those are the other 2 pieces of activated charcoal coloured soap. So when I turned it out like this, I very carefully measured how much I was going to need to cut off, because the sides of our mould are not quite as tall as the mould is long. So I measured, and I believe I chopped off roughly 1 inch or so of soap, allowing for it to come just below the lip of our soap mould, because when we are finished with this soap, this 4th piece is going to be picked up and placed on top, and if I've done my measurements correctly, that should bring us to the very top of the soap mould. So we will have a black line around our soap, which is going to hopefully give our picture frame illusion. Now, I really hope I haven't caused too much confusion with that explanation. As I said, the inspiration for the picture frame was from Tree Marie Soapworks. So if you want to see how to actually create the picture frame in more detail, I would recommend hunting through her videos. And if I can find the video again, I will mention it in the description, so you can click on that and watch her video where she actually creates the picture frame in detail. Anyway, let's move on. So we do not need this portion for now, so I'm going to put it carefully to one side. And so now what we need to create is the soap that is going to go inside our picture frame. And I think what we are going to attempt to do is a tiger swirl. So a 3 different colour tiger swirl, and we are going to use an uncoloured white portion of soap. We are going to use glacial marine clay to give us a green portion, and we are going to combine the Moroccan red clay and the madder powder to hopefully give us quite a vibrant reddish colour, because I think green, red and white swirled within a black picture frame will hopefully give us a soap that looks fairly stunning. Fingers crossed. So let's move on and make the innards for our frame. So first things first, we're going to prepare our lye water, and I've got my gloves on, my goggles on, my long sleeves and my closed-toed shoes. I'm going to pour my lye slowly into my water, Always lie into water, never the other way around. And then I'm going to stir it until the lye is fully dissolved. Then I'm going to take it over to the sink and I'm just going to leave it sitting there to cool down. And I think today we are going to work at a temperature of around about 100 degrees Fahrenheit, 100, 105, that sort of amount. Stirring my lye, taking care not to breathe in the fumes, and now moving it over to my sink to cool down. The lye is cooling and we are now going to move on to our solid oils, and today our solid oils are our usual blend, so coconut oil, cocoa butter and shea butter. I'm going to take them over to my hob now and slowly melt them down, and then we'll be back. So while our lye and our oils are cooling and melting, we're going to turn our attention to our clays. In here we have got the Moroccan red clay and the madder powder. They are very similar colours, so you probably won't be able to see them separately in there, but I can assure you they are both in there. And then next to that we have got our Glacial Marine Clay. Gives a really pretty green colour. Now today, because the soap batter is going to be split down into 3, I cannot add the clays to the melted oils, which is how I normally incorporate my clays. So I'm going to hydrate them with a little bit of hot water, just because it will help the clays to dissolve a little bit better, colour the batter a little bit better. If they go in just like this, they are going to take longer to mix up and then my trace is going to get thicker. So I'm hydrating them with hot water first. This is taken from the lye water amount, before the lye was added, obviously. So when we had measured our water, I took some out to use for the clays. So I'm just going to eyeball it and pour about half of the water into our red clay, and it will go a little bit sludgy. There you go, you can see how that water has been completely sucked up by the clays and the madder powder. Add a little bit more in. And I just want to get it to a consistency where it feels quite nice and smooth, so when I add it to our soap batter later on, it is going to hopefully incorporate itself a lot better. That is feeling pretty good now, so we'll move on to our green clay. And we're going to do the same with the Glacial Marine Clay. So adding some hot water in, starting with a smaller amount. And just working all of that clay in. And again, you can see it starting to go a little bit lumpy, a little bit thicker. Looks good though, doesn't it? Or I think it looks good. You can use this clay on your face as a face mask if you wish to. You might look a little bit like a pea while it's on, or an avocado, but it will make your face feel lovely and smooth. Right, a bit more water going in now, I think. Just getting it nicely over the table and my gloves and everywhere. Can't make soap without making a mess, can I? Getting it nicely incorporated till it feels, again, nice and smooth. Perhaps I need to take a bit more care. Do it a little bit slower, Anne. Take a little bit more care. Concentrate on what you're doing. Right, that'll do. The clays, I would say, are now ready. So now it's just a case of waiting for our lye and our, oh my God, waiting for our lye and our oils and butters to be ready, and perhaps cleaning the table in the meantime. Back with our oils now, and before anyone says anything, my lye is all the way over there. I took my goggles and my gloves off for cleaning up that little spillage on the table. I will put them back on when the lye comes back into play, but for now it is just our oils, so it is okay to not be wearing the gloves or the goggles. Our liquid oils are our standard liquid oils: olive oil, castor oil and sweet almond oil, and I'm just going to pour them down carefully into our melted solid oils. I'm then going to take the temperature and hope that it is somewhere around about 100 to 105. Probably won't be. Generally fine, we need to either warm it up or cool it down slightly, but you never know, we might get lucky. And it is coming in at 92.5 degrees, so I'm going to raise that up now by warming it slightly on the hob till it gets to 100, 105. So our oils are now registering around about 100 degrees Fahrenheit. Our lye water is just over. I think the lye water is about 105. So we are going to slowly pour the lye water into our oils. Then we are going to bring it to a light trace. And then I'm going to split it down into 3 different jugs, and we're going to colour 2 of those portions. And each portion is going to be 715 grams of batter per jug. Right. And I'm not going to show so much of the actual bringing it to a trace and splitting it down today, because we do that in a lot of our other videos. So we'll just do a little bit of mixing and then we'll get it into the jugs and get going with the colouring. So we've divided up the soap batter now, 715 grams in each portion, and we are now going to colour the 2 portions that are having colour within them. First is the red, so the Moroccan red clay and the madder, and I am thinking perhaps I should have just done this one madder to go with a pinker shade, but we said we were going with the Moroccan red clay blend, so that is what we shall do. We shall commit to what we said we were going to do, and I'm just going to mix it in a little with the spatula, and then we will give it a whiz with the blender once the green has been added as well. So going in with the Glacial Marine Clay, and as you can see, even with hydrating it, there are still some clumps of clay in there. And this is the reason why I left everything at a very thin trace today, because we are going to want to stick blend it to help that clay really get mixed into the oils, batter rather. I'm going to go in with the stick blender and just give it a little bit of a whiz and a blend to make the colour a little bit more consistent. And there we go, just a quick whiz has made it look a lot more of a consistent green, and it is a light to medium trace now, so we're just going to do the same with the red portion. So again, mixing. And that'll do absolutely fine. And I've just realised I'm probably going to need to whiz that one so it's at a similar consistency. I might just give the blender a quick wipe off before doing that, because that red is so dark that it could maybe taint the uncoloured portion. So just a quick whiz to bring the uncoloured portion to a similar consistency as the other 2. So the final thing I'm going to do before starting to fill our mould is add our lemon tea tree essential oil. And the reason we are using lemon tea tree is purely because that means I can legally sell the soap, because I have an assessment with all of these ingredients in it with lemon tea tree. That's the only reason. If you wish to use a different soap, a different scent, by all means do. That is my reasoning for my lemon tea tree, because it will be nice to be able to sell these soaps. And the only assessment I had that worked with the colours I wanted to use was the one that had the lemon tea tree. It is 13.3 grams of essential oil into each portion. And I'm just stirring them to incorporate them nicely. And there is the last one going in now. And with our tiger swirl, we are just going to pour our batter into the centre of the mould, a little line down the centre, you'll see in a minute, and then go over the top with another colour, and so on. There will be some leftover batter as well. Let's start with the white. So the first things first, I'm just going to pour down into our mould a line of soap roughly down the centre. And then I think we shall move on to our red, going over the top, holding it relatively high so it breaks through a little bit. And this is a very rudimentary tiger swirl. It's nothing very, very polished or precise. The green is thicker. Hopefully it will still work. Looks like it's still working. And while I am pouring this, I would actually just like to quickly tell you about something new we have added to our site, which is Buy Me a Coffee. And for those of you who are not familiar with it, it is basically a website where if you enjoy our content, you can make a very small donation in the form of purchasing us a coffee. I don't actually like coffee, but luckily for me, it's not real coffee. It's actually just a small donation to help towards the upkeep of the channel. This needs a stir. And I wasn't sure about adding it because, you know, I'm British, so asking for money always feels a little bit like begging. But I was like, do you know what? If you guys want to support the channel and it helps keep things free and helps a little bit, then why not give you guys the option? And I would like to also say a very big thank you to Simone and Christine, who actually bought us our first coffees yesterday. That was very, very much appreciated. As you can see, going back to the batter, I am struggling now with it getting quite thick. So we may not end up with a tiger swirl, but hopefully we'll end up with something that looks pretty. Let me give it a little shake. After all, we are going for an art effect, aren't we? So perhaps we'll just go for an abstract art effect. It's not really sort of breaking through the lower layers anymore. Perhaps we should just swirl it. Because it is getting so thick, perhaps we should just tip it in, fill it up, and swirl it around and see what happens. I think we are pretty much there because I need the level of the soap to be pretty much identical to the level of those black pieces of the frame. Otherwise, it will look weird. Just levelling it off where I can. What do you reckon? Do we swirl it or do we leave it as it is and just see? I think actually you can play around with something too much, can't you? So I think perhaps we'll just leave it exactly as it is and see what happens to it overnight as it cures. We've got some leftover soap. I will decant that after I've done this video, so nothing goes to waste. But right now I am concentrating on this soap and nothing else. Is that a little bit high? No, I think we'll be okay. So now, bringing in our fourth and final piece of our frame, and if I have done my measurements correctly, it should slip on top of it and almost just sort of sandwich the whole thing together. And it looks like it has. I think we might have had a little bit of excess soap in there because it's coming out a little bit, but I think we're okay. So just pressing it down. I feel like there is too much soap in there, but it's not like I can really get this out now. So if there's too much soap, I'm guessing it just means that you'll be able to see a very thin line between the joins of the sides of the frame. I don't want that, but if we do, it's not the end of the world, is it? Right, that is definitely pressed down and hopefully going to adhere quite nicely. Now we just have to wait till tomorrow to be able to chop it up and see if it has done what it should have done. Let's hope it does. See you tomorrow. So it's now the next morning. I probably look a little bit tired because I literally just woke up half an hour ago, but I was really excited just to get downstairs and see what this soap looks like. Obviously yesterday we had a few issues with the batter thickening, so I don't think it's going to look amazing. On reflection, I think it could possibly have been one of two things that made that batter thicken so quickly. Either the amount of clay that I used, because sometimes clay does make the batter thicken a bit quicker, or possibly the lemon tea tree essential oil. I'm thinking back to our lemon tea tree soap, and it does tend to go pretty thick pretty quickly, so potentially the lemon tea tree was actually the wrong choice and made it thicken a bit quicker. But this is the first time we've done this soap, so it's all good. We're just going to see what happens. I also have slight regrets now over the colours that I chose. I think that the red colour is possibly going to come out a little bit dark, and I'm thinking I should probably have chosen something a bit brighter. So I'm not entirely sure that I'm going to like the colour scheme, but let's chop it up, see what it looks like. I could be surprised. This hasn't been cleaned. Right, so getting into position on the soap cutter, and it's probably going to be pretty soft because it hasn't been long in the grand scheme of things since we made this. Ooh. That outside bit, obviously the black was made earlier, so it is a bit firmer. Going down, ooh, and chop. So let's see what we achieved and see if I'm happy. I don't think I'm going to be 100% happy, but I'm hoping to be surprised. Oh, actually, you know what? It's not bad. It's not bad. There we go. So when you think of what it looked like while I was trying to get it into the mould yesterday, I think it's come out better than hoped. Obviously, it's not exactly a tiger swirl, but what we have got is a nice enough swirl. The red colour, again, not so sure about it. I think it's a little bit too dark. It's too close to the black. What I really wanted was something that really contrasted, which the red doesn't. But I think the frames worked really nicely. The actual frame design has done what we wanted it to do. Yeah, they've all got quite a similar pattern. And if you see just at the top here, when I said yesterday that I thought we had slightly too much batter in the mould, I think we did, because there is a very thin white line here and here where the sides of the frame join to the top. So just slightly less, I think, would have eliminated that white line there. But for a first attempt, I'm pretty happy with that. And the white line isn't so visible in that one. It is the one on the edge. So I guess the ones on the edge were slightly thicker with batter, but overall pretty nice. I would, however, like to try this soap recipe again, try the design again. So when we try it again, because I want to try and improve it, I've got a question. Should we stick with natural colours, clays probably, think clays, but brighter clay, so maybe a yellow and a pink, or should we try some mica and go for a really vibrant bright design? Let us know in the comments, and I will look through the comments and I will count up how many votes we have got for natural clays and how many votes we have for mica, and then I will do that. We'll probably try and make it next week, so let's say a week, 5 days from posting this video. Leave us your comments, let us know mica or clays, and whatever's got the most votes in 5 days time will get the vote, and we shall make that. Now, as I said, the reason I used the lemon tea tree was because it will make these soaps legal for sale. So in 4 to 6 weeks, I will have these available to sale. I will pop them up on our website at some point as a pre-order. So if you did want to try one, they will be up there on our website. They're pretty enough, and they're going to be decent bars of soap that smell nice. So yeah, overall, my happiness level is about a 7.5 out of 10, because I like the frame, I like the way that worked. Not too happy with the swirl. I mean, it's okay, but I'm not 100% happy. And the red colour was the wrong choice. But about a 7.5 happiness level out of 10, so that's not too bad, especially on a first attempt of something new, is it? Let's take a piece from this end, just finally, to see what look we've got. And again there, a similar sort of swirled effect there. Not really swirled, is it? It's just lined. Next time we will use a different essential oil or no essential oil and just focus on getting a really nice swirl design. So that is it for today. I hope you have enjoyed our video. If you do, please consider subscribing to our channel, as that really helps. Leave us a comment, let us know what you think of the design, and hit the notification bell so that you are notified next time we upload a video. We shall see you soon, and thank you for watching today. Bye for now.